If you don't know how to explain what makes you different from other coaches, or if you want to charge more but are afraid to, or if you constantly compare yourself to others in the health and wellness space who seem to be doing better than you might think you have a confidence problem, but it's not that. It's a belief problem. In this video, I'm going to show you the difference between them and how to have the kind of belief you need to get more clients and create the kind of business you dream of. Hi, I'm Nicole Piper, and I'm coming to you today from Beaune, France, right in the heart of Burgundy. And today happens to be market day here. So if you want to peek at what that looks like, I've added some footage at the end of this video. So I left the corporate world nearly 3 decades after building brands like MTV, Nickelodeon, and Pokemon because I wanted to do work I love and have the freedom to do it from anywhere. And that's exactly what I help health and wellness professionals create now, a business that lets them work when, where, and how they want. And after helping over 1,000 of them do it, the shift I'm about to share with you is one of the most important ones I help people make. So let me explain what I mean by the difference between confidence and belief. Confidence is often something you build from the outside in. You get another certification, you invest in a brand shoot, someone gives you a pep talk, you read a book about mindset, you have a good month and you think, okay, I can do this. And all of that helps for a while, but then you see a competitor with a more polished website and suddenly you feel like you're not good enough. Or you get on a call and that person doesn't buy and you start questioning your pricing. Or you compare yourself to coaches who seem to be thriving and wonder, what am I doing wrong? That's because that kind of confidence sits on a shaky foundation. Confidence built from external things can be knocked over by external things. And that can feel like being on a confidence roller coaster. Many of the health and wellness professionals I've worked with were on it. Good days and bad days, good weeks and bad weeks. And they think if they just get more confident, everything would fall into place. But confidence isn't what they're missing. What they're missing is belief. And here's the difference. Belief is something that comes from the inside out. It's when you genuinely know, not hope or think, but know why your approach is different, why it works, and why the person you're talking to should choose you. It's not something you have to pump yourself up for. You don't need a pep talk before a sales call. You don't need to do affirmations. It's just there because it's grounded in something real. Now, let me show you what this looks like in practice. You may have heard me tell the story of George before, but it's such a good example. I love telling it. George is a rehab specialist I work with. He was charging $1,200 for a 12-week ACL recovery program. Now, he knew his approach got results that standard physical therapy couldn't touch. And he had years of experience, and he designed his system from his own recovery when physical therapy didn't get him back to where he was before his injury. But he couldn't charge more, and he told me it was because people wouldn't pay more. But when I dug into it, the real issue wasn't that people wouldn't pay more. It was that George couldn't clearly explain what made his approach different. He had confidence in his ability to help people. He knew he was good at what he did, but he didn't have belief in his positioning because he didn't have positioning yet. He couldn't look at someone and say, here's specifically why my approach works when standard rehab doesn't. So what do we do? Well, we didn't work on his mindset and we didn't do, confidence exercises. We found his pixie dust, the specific insight about why standard rehab protocols fall short of restoring full mobility. So it was something he already knew, but he had never been able to articulate it clearly. And once he could see it and once he could explain it, he didn't need a confidence boost to raise his prices. He doubled them, not because he psyched himself up to do it, but because charging more finally made sense. It felt aligned. He had belief, and we embedded it into his marketing. And within 2 months, he had a $13,000 a month. That wasn't confidence. That was belief built on a real foundation. When I take people through my positioning process, we often uncover something they already know, but had never connected in a way that gives them a unique positioning. And when we do that, it changes how they see themselves and their work. They suddenly understand the value they bring in a whole new way. Now that's what belief does. It doesn't just change your marketing. It changes how you see yourself, how you show up on calls, how you talk about what you do at a dinner party, and how you respond when someone asks, why should I work with you? When you have genuine belief, you don't fumble that question. You don't get nervous. You don't default to listing your credentials and hoping that's enough. You explain your perspective. And people lean in. Now, here's why this distinction matters so much for health and wellness professionals specifically. This is a field of incredibly talented people who are constantly being told they need more confidence, more mindset work, more positive thinking, and they beat themselves up because they can't seem to get there. The problem is that they've never been given that foundation that belief is built on. They've never been shown how to surface the specific insight that makes them different. And they've never been taught how to articulate why their approach works when others don't. They've never had someone walk them through the process of finding finding what I call their pixie dust and building their positioning around it. They've just been given a bunch of new tactics to try. So they're trying to build confidence on shaky ground, and it keeps collapsing. But when you build real belief on a real foundation, and when you can genuinely see and explain what makes you different, the confidence takes care of itself. You don't have to manufacture it, it's just there. I've seen practitioners go from dreading sales calls to looking forward to them. And it's not because they learned sales techniques, but because they show up differently. They finally know what to say and have something real to share. And that changes the whole dynamic. And I've seen the comparison anxiety disappear. That's what happens when you see the value of what you're offering. And that's the shift from confidence to belief. And it's the most important shift you can make in your business. So if you've been on the confidence roller coaster, feeling good one day, doubting everything the next, I want you to consider that the answer might not be mindset work. It might be doing the foundational work of figuring out what makes you genuinely different and learning how to talk about it. That's what builds belief, and belief is what lasts. This kind of foundational work is what my trust-based marketing method is all about. It's a process I developed specifically for health and wellness professionals based on what I learned helping over 1,000 of them build their online businesses. And I wrote a mini book that walks you through the whole method. If you're interested, there's a link to it in the description. And that's what I've got for you today. If this helped you see the difference between confidence and belief, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I share marketing strategies specifically for health and wellness professionals who want to build profitable online businesses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Pixie.